Welcome everyone. If you want to see how I got this oh so lovely looking batter into this, stay tuned. Welcome back everyone. So in this video I decided that I would show you guys, and this is my first attempt of ever making a homemade fruit bun. I got right here, starting off with the dry ingredients. Starting off right here, I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour that has been sifted. I have a teaspoon of nutmeg and a teaspoon of ginger powder in this flat plate right there. Moving on to the next plate, I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder over onto that big heap. Add half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of mixed spice to my right. Right here in this container, I have 3/4 cups of raisins, and on the bottom of that, I have mixed peel. This recipe, I use a cup of mixed fruits. So your mixed fruit should consist, or whatever you so desire. So my 1 cup consisted of 3/4 cup of raisins and some of that mixed peel under the bottom, and a couple of those cherries that I cut in smaller pieces, and I got my 1 cup of mixed fruits right there. We're going to be moving over to our wet ingredients, and I have my container right there. I thought that it probably would have been not so deep or not too big enough for my wet ingredients, but I should, however, say right now that I would suggest that you mix all of your wet ingredients on medium to low heat on your stove top, especially because the butter, if you're in a colder country, when you melt the butter tends to freeze up after a while, and then you have to melt it again, and it when you boil it on medium heat, the sugar tends to dissolve quicker along with the honey and the jam. So I'm showing you all of the ingredients that I'll be using to mix the malta with. That's the honey, a 1/4 cup of the honey. I have 2 tablespoons of melted butter, an egg, a zest of a lime that I added to the egg, a cup of brown sugar. I use about a tablespoon of the mixed essence, and the browning right there, I used a tablespoon of the browning. The jam right there, you can use also marmalade, molasses. I used this almond essence and the rose water right there to the left of it. I also use all of that to mix with the malta to give it added flavor and overall to give your bun extra flavor and not so much sweetness. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead off camera, empty the malta into the container, sorry, into the bowl, and here we have it. So when when you open up maltas or guineas, they have that little froth on it. I'll be adding that sugar, and you see it's beginning to dissolve, but didn't dissolve as quick as how I wanted it, so I went off camera and mixed all together. I'm now adding in the almond essence, the vanilla, and the rose water. And again, as I said, you have to work fast, because if you're in like a colder country or if your home overall is cold, the butter tends to, form back right there. I now added in the fruits. Gonna be adding in right now. This is the honey, and boy, I tell you, it is so, the honey and the jam is so sticky to work with. I must admit right here, I did the reverse. I should have added my dry ingredients slowly to the wet, but as you saw, I added it in the reverse, but I made it work so not to have any lumps, and I mixed it well. You can use a wooden spoon. If you have a mixer, you can mix it, but try not to over mix your batter. And yeah, I'm working it in. I'm gonna throw it all in and just mix it, give it one last mix. There is the batter. For topping, I've added some cherries, and here you go. Here's the finished product. There's my first attempt of making a homemade bun. I must say it is looking lovely. To make that glaze, I just added a little, maybe about less than a tablespoon of honey along with some butter, and that's how I got the glaze right there. Went ahead and cut it so you guys can see the texture inside.